this is what your life experience is always going to feel like. You're always going to be feeling something, having a knowing, feeling that your manifestation is close, feeling something that you can't yet prove yet because it hasn't manifested yet. And yet the feeling has to be enough. You have to allow the feeling to be what you're looking for, because when it's a feeling that you're looking for, then you know what happens? You're able to make the journey from not enough money to all the money that you want. You can make the journey. But when it's about the manifestation and you don't see the manifestation right now and you haven't seen it, so every time you think about the manifestation, you go right down the drain. You plummet, you don't get the impulses, you're not getting the good timing, then you can't make the journey. And that's what this video is all about. It's about understanding that wherever you are, you can get to where you want to go. And the journey is quantifiable. It's about how do you feel about your desires. And we don't mean, we mean in general. What does it feel like? What is the balance of your thoughts like? What is your habitual thought like concerning this desire? What does your desire feel like to you? If it feels good to you, I mean, it feels enthusiastic, you're excited for it, you're looking forward to it, it just feels natural, it feels like it's moving, then that's a desire that you're actually seeing manifest right in front of your eyes. You're seeing it develop from an idea in your mind to little bits and pieces. It's being breadcrumbed right in front of you, and you're on the path right now. And if you don't feel too good about your desire, meaning you feel pessimistic about it, meaning you're wondering where it's been, you feel good about it, but you mostly feel, well, where is it? And maybe you believe that it's coming, but you just haven't seen it yet, because those are two different topics. Because when you don't believe, then you have to teach yourself law of attraction. You have to show yourself by focusing on other subjects that are easy. And we recommend by making a list of 5 things that you don't really care about: license plates, signs, anything that you're interested in, cars with certain colors, $5 bills on the ground, and then you can actually believe that the law of attraction is responding to you, and you can see all of those 5 things, how fast the law of attraction can actually work. And it really is responding to everything that you're wanting. And you can see how you're being led on the path to all these 5 items. And if you're just not seeing it, then you have to get over that. You have to get over not being able to see your desire right now, because that dissatisfaction with where you now stand right now, because now is what really matters. Now is the whole manifestation. That right there is a reason why your desires are slowing down. Your desires are slowing down because you feel it. You feel your desire. Meaning when you think about it, you believe in it, you conceptually understand the vortex. So you say, okay, there's a vibrational version, but I just don't see it yet. I've been feeling it, but I've been doing the vibrational work, but I haven't been seeing the things yet. And then that can only mean that even in the feeling good, because you are feeling good. So in the feeling for the desire and you finding the desire, you're making it more about the manifestation. So it's like that little, it's like that it's almost like you're getting stuck in that little sort of area, which is, I feel it but I don't yet see it. So you need to make the emotion more important, because if you can feel it and you're waiting to then see it, then you're always going to be stuck in that sort of limbo where I can feel it but I don't see it, I can feel it but I don't see it. And instead you have to make it, I can feel it. And so since I can feel it, I'm satisfied with where I now stand because I can feel it. So it has to be an emotional conversation, and you can do that because the satisfaction, the emotion is what you're really looking for. You're looking to feel good, and the thing is, you can feel good right now, and that's what you're always reaching for. You want to be in alignment with who you really are. You can't be less than that which life has caused you to literally become. You see, your negative emotion is really about 2 things. It's about the size or the amount of energy or the amount of power that this desire has summoned through your asking. And your negative emotion is letting you know that the amount of power, how much of this power that this desire has summoned, that non-physical is focusing on, how much of it are you actually allowing in this now moment, right? So if you're feeling anything less than satisfied, if you're feeling dissatisfied, then right now you're not allowing the energy to create that creates worlds flow through you. And that's what your negative emotion is about. It's not because you don't have what you want. It's because right now that you're not being who you really are. You're not having that flow of energy, and that's what you're really looking for. You're looking for that flow of energy. You want that flow of energy, and so that's the thing is that has to be your new manifestation. That has to be what you're looking for. It has to be the emotion, and then that satisfaction will turn into eagerness really fast, and then passion, and before you know it, you're gonna stand in the place where you know that everything that you want is coming. You're getting the daydream. You're getting images in your mind. You know that everything that you want is coming. You're in that place of power. You feel like you know everything. You feel like I'm gonna be rich. I know all these things. All of these things are gonna happen. Everything that life has caused me to become, I'm tuned to it right now, and I know that I'm gonna experience all of it. And so we want it to be more about the emotion. It has to be about the emotion. It can't be about the manifestation, because if it's about the manifestation, right? Like imagine there's a desire, right? Imagine it's about money, and you're like, you feel the money, you feel like, well, I'm gonna be rich, and then you sort of come and you realize, well, how come I'm not rich yet? Because I feel rich. Like conceptually, I know my money's in my vortex. I'm ready for it. I'm not only ready for it, I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. It's just an easy subject. I'm really ready for it. So in that whole conversation, you're a vibrational match to what you want. But then if you're not seeing it, what that means is even in that conversation of being a vibrational match, it's still not enough, because you're still looking for the physical manifestation, right? It's like the better it gets, the better it gets. But the thing is, don't worry about, or don't focus on the better getting better, or the more manifestations that you're getting. Make it about the better feeling. Make it about how good you're feeling. Make it about the emotion that you can find right now. Because when you can find the emotion right now, the emotion is literally the path unfolding. By the time you're feeling good about your manifestation, it's literally on your doorstep. You're about to experience it. And so the thing is, that translates as, okay, when I feel positive emotion, that means that I'm in alignment with my desire and I'm gonna see it. Like, woohoo, like that's awesome. And we're saying that's exactly what it means. But then what happens is the human logic, which is I want to see manifestations. I don't want just emotion. I want to see the whole thing. And we're like, well, the whole thing is what you're here to experience. Yes, but to get the whole thing, in order to make the journey, in order to be in the right place at the right time, in order to stay on the wavelength of this desire to its fruition, it has to be about the emotion. Because when it's about the manifestation, then you're not able to stay on the wavelength of the manifestation, right? So, and you know why? Because reality is conditional, and in this sort of conditional love, in these conditions, in the manifestations, right? Because when it's about money and it's not about clarity, then whenever you think about the money, you're thinking about, the conditions. There's a little wonky stuff in there. There's still residual resistance that you sort of get trapped in. It's like the ones who they understand law of attraction, and then they start applying it and they start seeing the results. And so in the seeing the results, they get lazy. They're not as focused anymore, because it was about the manifestation. It wasn't about the vibrational alignment. It wasn't about the process. It was just about getting there. And then they get there, and then things are going good for a while. But then since they fall into old habits of thoughts, they just go right back. They U-turn and they go back to their old way of thinking that don't feel good to them. Then they lose everything. And we're saying that's why, because instead of calibrating to the emotion, you're calibrating to the reality. And so then reality, it's a mixed bag, because there's a little bit of wanted and unwanted everywhere. So it's more work, and you could be really good at selectively sifting and really good focuser, but it's more work. But whereas when you make it about the emotion, now you can create anything, because if you now understand that you're on a journey, everything that you want is becoming. But in order to be there when the fruit is ripe at that right moment, or a better way to say it is, in order to literally physically or vibrationally, because it's not about physics or physicalness, it's about it's about the physics of your thoughts. It's about you creating with your thoughts. It's about you being a being that is and was once source energy. You have to be who you really are. You have to be that full version of you, and that full version of you is always expanding. So you can't be all of it. Being dead helps, but you're here, and you're here in this place of resistance. So you need to not get mad at yourself when you're not in the vortex. You need to you need to not get mad at yourself when you're dissatisfied, because the contrast is necessary. And now you understand that if it's about the emotion is really easy to find. And since emotion is really easy to find, that's why it's trippy. Because you know why it's trippy? You know why it's counterintuitive? Because the emotion is too easy. It's too easy right now just to feel good about money, because you still want the reality. You still want the money. And we're saying, but the thing is, that's the reason why you don't have it, because every time you think about the money, it's not here. So you can't help but notice that it's not here. Because remember how we said earlier, it's like there's a difference between not believing and there's a difference between not seeing it. So if it's about not seeing it, then that's why, because you're just not seeing. You just have a practice of, it's not here, I don't see it, right? Because it's like tracking your progress. It's like, I know everything that I want should be coming, but how come I'm not seeing it? And we would say, well, the thing is, it has to be about the emotion. It means that you're not making the full journey. Somewhere along the journey, you're turning back. Somewhere along the journey, you're throwing tantrums. Somewhere along the journey, you're introducing resistance. And it's always in that really, it's not a tight spot, but it's in that place where it's just about to manifest. But since you can't see it yet, you throw a tantrum because you can't see it yet. And we're like, but like, you can feel it. And if you can feel it, then you're right on the doorstep of it. And to really take it all the way home, it has to be about the emotion. Because in order to take your desires from the vibration all the way to the fruition, the physical fruition, you have to tune to it emotionally. You want to see with your eyes, but you have to tune to it emotionally. You have to tune to your desire emotionally all the way until it's a manifestation, until it's a physical manifestation. Because when you tune emotionally, you always feel good. When you tune emotionally, you're one, you're whole, you're one with source. You're feeling good. You're feeling so enthusiastic. It's delicious. You're living life the way you wanted it to come. But when it's about the manifestation, you're gonna get to the manifestation, but it's gonna be hard. And when you do get to manifestation, you're gonna have like a meltdown. It's gonna feel like depression, because it's like you account all of your blessings and all of your happiness for this one thing, and now this one thing is over. Now it's like, now what? It's now what? But that question is not fun. It's more like, I thought this is everything that I wanted. But we're saying it's the process. You want the journey. You want the journey from A to B to be more fun than actually getting to B, because getting there is inevitable. Because every time you want something, it's like a circuit. It's like the electricity, the energy has been set. It's been set into motion, but you can slow it down, and that's what resistance is. It's slowing down the natural well-being, the natural cause of the electricity, so to speak. So the way to not slow down your desire, right, is to not look for it right now. Or let's say that better. Let's say that the best way to not slow your manifestation down is in that sort of, it's not like a tight space, but in that small space between I feel good about it and when am I going to see it. In that small space, we want to say, if you feel good about your desire, let that be enough for now. If you feel good about your desire, let that be good enough for now. Because the feeling good about your desire, that's what you're really looking for. Ooh. The feeling good about your desire is more important than the actual desire itself. Because the feeling good about that desire, that's what satisfaction is. It's moving towards something. It's feeling that open-endedness. It's moving towards something. And so that's what you're really looking for. Because when it's about the manifestation, then do you see how like you can make the journey? Do you see how you introduce resistance into the equation? Do you see how you can't be the perceiver from its vibrational form to its physical form, because you get stuck along the way? Oh, that's a really good way to put it. Because say all of your desires, they're all different subjects, right? And if you can approach the subjects as emotions instead of like, okay, dollars, this amount, this type of job, these are my taxes, this is where I live. Instead, if you can make it more about the emotion, meaning how I want to feel, meaning I want to feel like I can, I can do whatever I want. I want to feel like I can have everything that I want. I can go into the store and just buy whatever I want. That freedom. If you can make it more about the emotion, about those vibrations, then you're able to tune to those desires faster, because it's just about tuning to what's already there. But the thing is, when you tune to what's already there, you feel good. That's how you know you're tuned to the right station. But then in the feeling good, you jump the gun, because you're like, okay, now I feel good. Now it's coming. But instead of enjoying the feeling good, which is what will take you, which is the very thing that will allow you to see the becoming all the way through to the fruition, the physical fruition. Instead, you want the manifestation, but it has to be about the motion. And so we hope with this video that you are like, okay, now I understand what to do. Now I understand that it's really about, the prize really is standing where I am right now and feeling satisfied and feeling good about my desire, because then it's like, ooh, it just feels good to have something to look forward to. And that is the prize. The emotion is the prize. Because when the manifestation is the prize, then you don't actually like, you can't make the journey. You don't quite make it. And that's why, because somewhere along the way, right? Because in all of your desires, you're in a different sort of stage, right? And those desires that feel really big to you, that's why, because you can feel it. You can daydream about it. You can dream the dream, and you can find good feeling thoughts. You're a master. You can feel good about all your desires, but it's in that space between I feel good about it and knowing that, okay, since I feel good about it, it's gonna come. But you see, in that space, that's where resistance is introduced, right? And it's really fine tuning. And if you can understand this fine tuning, then now there's not going to be enough time. There's not going to be this sort of timing issue. There's not going to be such a long stretch of time between manifestations. It's going to be pop, because on that emotion, when it's about feeling good, then you're in the receiving mode for longer and longer, and you don't introduce resistance. Because when you introduce conditions, then you go off on a whole tailspin, because instead of moving forward, you're talking about, okay, it's not here, and it's not that I don't believe that it's not here, but it's just not here. And so why is that? Let's explain that. Let's justify it. Let's define and defend it. Let's figure out what the problem is and how to make the problem bigger by focusing on it. And so that's really not the way to go. The true way to go is to understand that if you can feel good about your desire, then you're right on the doorstep. But in feeling good, don't think that, okay, since I feel good now, I'm gonna get what I want. The feeling good is what you really want. And if you can really enjoy the feeling good and sort of leave the manifestation out, then that manifestation, it has to come to you. That's the power that you're working for, that you're not only working with, but you're also from. And it's that power that you can tap into right now and see and enjoy the life that you came here to enjoy.